biggest trade was posted on X by Piston Talk. So I think it was Anthony Davis for Karis LeVert, Jay Ivey, Tobias Harris, and some future draft picks. What I say? Tobias, Jaden, Karis, and future. My thing is this. I guess that's how to make the money work. Then what you gonna do at guard? No Karis, no Jaden Ivey. What you gonna do at guard then? Are you banking on Malik Beasley coming back? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my thing about it. I'm not giving up Karis and Jaden Ivey. You know, I'm not doing, Karis and Jaden Ivey. I'm not giving both of them up. And I'm definitely not giving up picks too. So no, I'm not giving up picks and all of that. Like, Anthony Davis really not that valuable. I'm willing to give up like Karis, Tobias, or Ivy and Tobias, or wherever one you want to give up. And then, you know, maybe a Sasser or maybe somebody else to make the money work. But unless they give me somebody in return, like somebody can shoot or play that guard position, unless I get Clay, you put Clay in there, then we can do it. You know, but I'm still, if you put Clay in there, Davis in there, I'll give you Tobias, probably Ivy. Who else on the squad? I'm trying to think. And I don't have the money in front of me, obviously, to see how the money work. Maybe Sasser. You know what I'm saying? And then maybe I'll throw a pick in there or something like that down the road, but a protected pick. But that's, you know, however you make the money work for that. Yeah, I know Clay gonna complicate the money a little bit. But yeah, I'm willing to do that. You know what I'm saying? But honestly, or another side quest deal for somebody like Clay or whatever. But Anthony Davis, a risk. He just can't stay healthy, and that's a problem. You put him in there next to Jalen Duren and with Isaiah Stewart, and you know he can shoot the ball well enough. I mean, you know, how do you if he can work with LeBron and can't get more durable? That's the problem. So I really think if you're gonna haul that idea and take assets like that, then I started thinking you start looking at other places and other people. You know what I'm saying? I mean, whether it's, I don't know, around the league, who would you look at? Because the one thing about Anthony Davis, he really fit the bill good. I mean, low key can give you some time at the 3, give you some time at the 3, give you some time at the 5, give you some time at the 4. He can post, he can space and shoot it, he can defend the rim for you. You know, and I ultimately, then I think, you know, really at that point, if you try to find guys, you know, comparable to him, then you're probably looking at teams that's in the middle there or at the bottom of the league. You're probably looking at guys like, maybe a Sabonis. You know, maybe you start looking at, you know, maybe some teams that may underachieve. Outside of that, let's say, what if, you know, Golden State, like, hey, let's blow it up. You know what I'm saying? I doubt it. Maybe you start looking at a guy like, you know, Kuminga or Draymond a little bit. Just trying to throw ideas out there. I mean, obviously Zion don't really have a jumper right now, and he hasn't shown the ability to stay healthy to develop anything else. I see somebody else, Jaren Jackson Jr., he just doesn't rebound at a high enough clip. He's not tough enough to be a Piston, and I say that with the utmost disrespect out of my voice. Yeah, you heard it right. So you just really it's hard to find guys that can do what he can do from that position. But then, you know, like I said, if you're going to give up a haul, maybe you look at a guy like Lauri Markkanen, durable, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you can steal one of their guards that can give you a little scoring off the bench, but, you know, he's more durable. But Anthony Davis, what he brings is more defense. But if you ain't out there to defend because your availability, then, you know, maybe you start to look at Markkanen, you start to look at Sabonis, you know, you start to look at some guys, you know, more closer than that. But obviously Anthony Davis, it's intriguing. It's intriguing. You know, maybe you find a way to manage, you know, his minutes, and you can. You know, you got Paul Reed, you got Isaiah Stewart. You actually can keep him fresh. You know, you actually can keep him, but you don't want to sit there and say, oh man, we about to make a championship type of run, and then he get injured. We dealing that enough with the Lions. Then he end up, oh, my back, oh, my clavicle, oh, my baby toe, I got to be out for game 7. It's like, come on now, homie. But if you can get him to stay healthy, and that was kind of fucked up, excuse my language, how they got rid of Nico. They didn't even let them get healthy yet, but he's ideal. The difference between him and Markkanen is his ability to defend, his versatility that he bring. marketing, he shoot the ball better. But Anthony Davis' ability to defend, and I think, he brings space, defense, talent, championship pedigree. Close to Chicago, they showed a lot of love to Derrick Rose when he was here. So it's a thing. You're gonna sell some tickets with Anthony Davis. But then again, you look at guys like, hey, if the Suns still suck, can you still a Devin Booker? You know what I'm saying? Could you go still a Trey Murphy? It may not be as sexy. A Lauri Markkanen may not be as sexy as people think it is, but ultimately, to me, it's interesting. But you had to ask yourself at this point, if the Mavs trade Anthony Davis, are you blowing it up? Then are you moving Kyrie as well too? Are you moving Kyrie? Then that get interesting. Like, then you start looking like, okay, where can we send Kyrie? That's interesting because you're not going to send him to Philly because they got two bona fide flat out dogs at guard. So you start to look at would you send him to LA with Luka again? I doubt it. Clippers already old. The Kings, it is what it is. So you're looking like, what about Houston? I'm already talking about Ron Harper's son playing well in San Antonio. You send him to Houston, or send him to San Antonio, or, we're talking about De'Aaron Fox going to Houston. Or do you send Kyrie to Houston? It's a great question. Start looking at Miami. Send him to Miami with Pat Riley. So, I think it's a lot of interesting things. John Morant, he can be gone. So it's a lot of, NBA ratings up by 15% too. So it's a lot of things that really can happen here, just looking across the landscape. Minnesota, do they want to keep waiting on the young bull up there to get it together? Rob Dillingham, who I flat out love his game. Do they go for a push? OKC Thunder, do they fuck with the formula? They try to add a little some to that formula. They rolling right now, so you want to break up that camaraderie. Boston right now, do the Knicks say, and do we want to mess up this thing right now and add a little bit something else to make us stronger in the East? Can we help Giannis out a little bit? It's interesting, but honestly, I wouldn't be opposed to Anthony Davis. I think he fits I think personality-wise he fits. I think scheme-wise he fits, but also I wouldn't be opposed to Lauri Markkanen coming here. I think defensively, that's where you're lacking at. But when you look at the Pistons, you got Durant defending at a high level. You got Sarr defending at a high level. You got Cade defending at a high level. You know what I'm saying? Tobias to be gone. So, yeah, but it ultimately, the difference is this. Are you willing to take a drop off defensively from Lauri Markkanen? And I'm pretty sure you can get him to be a good team defender, right? Are you willing to trade off his defensive lapses for his availability? Are you willing to roll the dice on Anthony Davis' lack of availability, but his overall game? And that's $1 million question. So ultimately, it's a lot to add. You got a lot to see. I see what Ivy looked like down the stretch. But ultimately, I think we all thought the idea was that Tobias would be gone. So we'll see, man. We'll see. I don't know, Malik or, there's some names out there. So still early in the season. But Anthony Davis, if he can stay healthy for a playoff run, would be the ideal fit for the Pistons. You know what I'm saying? You gain defensively. I think he can hit that three at the same clip as Tobias Harris. And also he could put somebody on his backside and get a bucket. He could take over a game. So realistically, the Chicago connection there, the fans there. But if we just talking about common sense, like making the right move and not gambling, what makes most sense, I think you would say Lauri Markkanen. But hey, hit the link in the description. Check out Detroit Pistons Talk playlist. Hit the link tree. You can find me everywhere from Facebook, Kick, Twitch. Doing great things on Facebook too. So check that out. Peace.